Do you think it's possible that you could wake up one day and a family member you thought was dead is in your living room, alive and kicking? Yes, it sounds like something impossible. However, today, in this amazing and mysterious video, I will show you that it is possible. So if you want to know a little more about the rising dead, just stick around. As my mommy says, in this life there is nothing certain, only death. Yes, death is in fact as inevitable as it is natural, and despite being aware of this, it is often difficult to accept it, and humans never stop avoiding and fearing it. Although it is also true that each culture sees death in a very different way. Some cultures see it as a new beginning for another life in another body. Others see it as a temporary rest while waiting for the day of judgment when every soul will know its end. However, there is one particular culture which does not see death with sad eyes as most humans do, but rather as a celebration and a feast. A mayor in Indonesia, in that country, death is extraordinary. Even recently, an event so unusual happened that, well, scientists have investigated to find out if it is true or even possible. Also, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now, back to the story. What was it about? Well, a woman who came out of her grave after 3 years, yes, just as you were hearing, and I'm very serious, but you better know a bit better about this shocking case that left more than one person jaw-dropped. It turns out this happened in Taraya, Indonesia, and actually this case started to become very famous after some people ended up recording a video of how the woman was resurrected after being dead for 3 years. Undoubtedly something totally out of the ordinary. According to what can be seen, the woman comes out of her grave and walks after 3 years of having died, while the people who were in the place were surprised to see how the woman was resurrected as if nothing. What's most surprising is how you can see the body of the woman totally worn out, and especially as if it were a corpse, because obviously decomposition's just around the corner. Undoubtedly, anyone would be surprised to see this woman, how from one day to the next, she manages to get out of her grave and begins to walk in a way that anyone would fear just to see. And obviously when a video like this goes viral, many criticisms have managed to take. One of them is that they can't believe that a woman just came out of her grave out of nowhere, accusing them of fraud or even computer editing. Only in Indonesia, especially in the community of Taraha, a corpse is specially taken to its grave. But in Taraha, the corpse is awakened by leaving it standing in front of its graveyard. As a local journalist commented on the matter, even adding that she considers it quite strange that this activity or tradition is still continued in that locality, but it is a technique in this country to resurrect the deceased. And that in that country, well, it's not strange at all. I think I know who's going to provoke the zombie apocalypse. I'm voting for eradication. I don't know. Who supports me? You. You, right? Okay, get out of here. Anyway, what happened after the resurrection? Do they go back to their normal carefree lives? Well, the answer is no. While burial after death is not an immediate process for them, it is a long affair, or well, tradition as they call it, that all family members fully participate in. On the other hand, poor families keep the corpse in another room in their own house, and these bodies are usually enclosed in large coffins placed in caves carefully carved out of limestone cliff. Also, they should know that many weeks or even months may pass between death and burial. It is believed that the funeral is the last time the corpse is seen. However, in this tradition, this ceremony is wrong, because for Indonesians, every year in August, the villagers go to the burial place to take the bodies out, change their clothes, wash them, and repair as much as possible the damages that the coffins may have had. And no, that's not all, because they'll also hold the corpses upright and guide them through the village to the place of their death and bring them back. After the bodies are returned to their coffins, this ritual is called Manene, and is meant to show the deceased that they are still loved and cared for. Okay. I don't think I'd ever want to visit Indonesia in August. I don't know about you, but well, don't be totally surprised by this because there's a known case very similar to the one we just mentioned. It turns out this isn't the first time that a deceased person is reported to have been resurrected. It happened in China where a man was resurrected after 4 months of being buried. Yes, the fact left scientists and villagers perplexed by this unusual event. It all happened in the small province of Wanchen, where a family was touched by an unexpected and terrifying fact. The 65-year-old father of the family woke up one day without a pulse. His wife noticed that he didn't react to her call, so she decided to call the doctors to his house to give him help. After a quick check, the specialist determined that the man had died as he wasn't breathing, had no eye reflexes, and had no pulse. The frightening news overwhelmed the poor family, who were forced to hold a small funeral so that family members and close friends could say goodbye to the man and offer their condolences. As the family had very limited resources, they proceeded to bury the man in the backyard of their home, as was customary in cases where families couldn't afford cemetery fees. 4 months after burying him, his children went to the police to denounce that their father's coffin had been opened and he was not inside. In addition, everything pointed to a desecration because earth had been moved. The biggest surprise for the family and the police was when they returned to the place and found the man curled up in one of the corners of his house. Yes, just as you're hearing it, it's frankly something difficult to believe. The man was in a state of shock and didn't utter a single word. He only asked to be transported to a hospital, so they did. At the scene, he was found to be in an extreme state of malnutrition and dehydration. The man, once he started to recover, only commented that he didn't know how he got there, and that the last thing he remembered was hitting a small enclosed area. He also admitted that he felt he slept too much. For now, local authorities and scientists are analyzing the fact that they cataloged as resurrection. They're also studying the possibilities that this fact had been repeated in other parts of the world because, well, this is undoubtedly one of the thousands of amazing stories that happen in our unusual world. However, there are cases like the ones already mentioned that do not have an ounce of coherence, but still they amaze us by the simple fact that they exist, they happened, and they continue to happen. So that's it, my friends. Now tell me, did you like the video as much as I did? If so, subscribe right now and hit that little bell button so you'll be informed when we upload a new one. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.